Difference between later and latter from EspressoEnglish.net. Hi students! Today I'm going to explain the difference between the words later and latter. They're only different by one letter. Later has one T and latter has two T's, but they have different pronunciations and different meanings. If you'd like to learn the differences between lots of confusing English words, check out my ebook, 600 Plus Confusing English Words Explained, for clear explanations that will help you understand and use these words correctly. Let's begin with later. The word later with one T refers to a time in the future. Right now, I'm giving you an English lesson, and I'll go to the gym later, meaning in the evening, in the future from this moment. You probably already know the word later, so I won't give a ton of examples. But another common expression is that we can say, "see you later," when we are saying goodbye to somebody now, but we know we will see them again, usually in the short-term future. What about the word latter? This is used when you mention two things and then you want to refer back specifically to the second thing. For example, I have fans of Espresso English on both Facebook and YouTube, and I have more fans on the latter. The latter means the second one of the two things I just mentioned. So in this example, I have fans on Facebook, that's the first thing I mentioned, and on YouTube, that's the second thing I mentioned. And I have more fans on YouTube. But instead of saying YouTube again in the sentence, I refer to it as the latter, meaning the second thing that I mentioned in the previous sentence or phrase. Here's another simple example. I went to the store and bought bananas and pears. The former weren't ripe yet, but the latter were ready to eat. So I mentioned two things, one, bananas, and two, pears. I can use the former to refer to the first thing mentioned, the bananas that weren't ripe yet. And I use the latter to refer to the second thing mentioned, the pears were ready to eat. Okay, let's review quickly. Later refers to something happening in the future, and latter refers to the second of two things mentioned in the previous sentence or phrase. And when you're speaking, there's the pronunciation difference that later has the long A, as in name or hate, later. And latter has the short A, as in apple and cat, latter. Repeat after me. Later. Latter. That's all for now. Again, you can find many more great explanations inside my 600 Plus Confusing Words Explained ebook, which you can find on my website, espressoenglish.net. Thanks for joining me for today's video, and I'll see you later. I'll see you in next week's video.